Hey Clay, we're in the building, baby. In the
What's
building.
up, man? So what's up? How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. You?
Hey, listen, this is the new era. We're at the dawn of a new era. We're in the Kafka era now.
And for your fans, people, viewers, you're looking right now. I'm in the studio, and Clay is from Brooklyn. Is out. He's in outside, and he's in the outside studio. He got the windows
I
open right
just
now,
came in.
as you see him with the hat on and everything.
I just came in, and it is brick. So I'm dressed for brick. And my apologies, for bringing the brick inside.
For those of you who don't know what brick is,
Oh
Frio,
yes,
Frio.
I'll say Frio. Summer's over.
Summer's over. Like you said, though, man, it's a new era. It's a new era.
New era. And we are here, Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas. And who am I here with?
It's your man Mazo, baby. It's all about Big Blue. All about Big Blue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we are in the studios. And it's the Kafka era. Like I said, we've both said, Dable's gone and, ding dong, the witch is dead, all that. And it's not personal. I don't want anybody to think that I dislike Brian Dable, the man. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Right. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. But, got to go, you got to go. It is a business. It is a business.
It's a business, and it's a results-oriented business.
Right.
And those were bad results.
So now it's the Mike Kafka. Am I saying right? Kafka?
Kafka show. And honestly, it needs to be a new GM show soon too, but we'll talk about that another time.
Oh, yeah. That's a definite. Please.
We'll definitely talk about that.
I don't understand that at all why keeping him,
But so as we've, many people have said, including us, Kafka needs to make some changes, right? And he made some. He hired his own, promoted his own offensive coordinator. The tight ends coach is now the offensive coordinator. I hope that's a good sign that he's given the freedom to make changes to the staff, because you know who I want to get rid of.
So yeah, is that Shane?
That seat should be lit. That should be hot. You give him a week. You don't want to make too many changes in your first week, but I can see Monday, Kafka coming into Shane's office and saying, "Look, he just cost somebody else their job. I don't want him to cost me mine. Can we move on, please?"
Out of here. You want him out of here?
Time to go.
Hey, I like the move though. That it makes sense that he said, Russ, you're a nice guy. We appreciate everything you've done for us. But yes. Russ, here's a clipboard for you. Hold this. James, let's go.
And be ready like you were last week, because you were the backup last week, but you're the backup again this week.
Right. Exactly. Nothing's changed for you. As a backup. Just tell them nothing's changed for you. Nothing's changed.
Right. Exactly.
I think, real quick, with that move, I think it's going to make the next game against the Packers exciting. It's going, because Jameis.
Jameis is must-see TV.
He could throw you in the game. He could throw you out of the game. You know that. So
absolutely.
But we'll talk about that in our prediction episode. But
yes, that'll be another thing.
I'm optimistic about that.
I do have some disappointing news that maybe everybody has figured out. The Denver Broncos stole Little Jordan Humphrey from us. Little Jordan Humphrey is no longer a Giant. He's now in the Denver Broncos. They snatched him off our practice squad. And once again, Joe Shane dropped the ball. He hasn't come out and said this, but Little Jordan Humphrey had been elevated from the practice squad to the active roster 3 times. You can only do that 3 times. After that, if you want to bring him up, you have to actually put him on the permanent roster. And I don't know if it's because we only have, a couple of like $11.95 worth of cap space, or if there's other reasons as well. But he, meaning Shane, did not bring Little Jordan Humphrey up to our 53-man roster. And so any team can snatch him. And Denver just snatched him today. So no more Little Jordan Humphrey.
It's only a position that we need a player at. Right. We need some type of, and right. He's pretty good. He's not bad.
Getting Ray McLeod's and keeping Jalen Hyatt anchored to the bench but active.
Right.
And you're going to let Little Jordan Humphrey just walk away. So he'll probably have, 8 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown this week for Denver because they said they're snatching him. There's like, yeah, he'll probably play this Sunday.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Here we go. Bowen must go. I'll start that right now. Bowen must go. Bowen must go.
Yeah, all of them. Shane Bowen must go. Joe Shane must go. The Shane's got to go.
Get
So
out.
anyway, there's so many things, wrong with this roster. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, which I haven't heard too many people talking about yet, is our prospects for the draft. Now, you see, I've already started mock draft Mondays. You see, I'm already looking ahead. We're 2-8. Somebody posted on Twitter today, if Kafka goes 5-2, should we offer him the job? And I wrote back, if Kafka goes 5-2, we should offer him head coach, general manager, and mayor of New York City job. If he goes 5-2, he
Five and
is
two.
way outperformed expectations. I said,
Even
is
the
that
optimists say, "What?"
5-2? Is that a thing? So yeah, it's not gonna happen. But anyway, there's I think, very solid chance that we wind up with fewer than 5 wins. We already have two. 3 and 4 are the 2, 3, and 4 are the numbers I think we are negotiating around. But that said, there are other teams that are not doing so well. And if the draft was today, we would have the third pick. So shout out to Tankathon and PFF and all those other people who put these things together. But if you don't mind, I want to share something with you.
With the third pick, ooh, okay. It's funny. We're thinking the other way now. It's like,
Yes, yes. So this is a list of the team. If the draft was today, these would be the first 12 teams to select. And the reason I went up to 12 is because there are 12 teams with fewer than 4 wins already. So you see Dallas is 12th.
right,
So all of these teams have either 1, 2, or 3 wins. We have 2 wins, and we're tied with New Orleans in the record. We're both 2-8. But because our strength of schedule is 541 to their 497, they get to pick ahead of us as the tiebreaker, right? So when two teams have the same exact record, the team whose strength of schedule was lower presumably had easier teams to play against and still lost just as many games as you. They get to pick ahead of you.
yeah. But our
So,
schedule is like you said. Wait, our schedule is really tough. So is that
right.
why I think the schedule is higher?
Say that again?
Our schedule is really tough.
Yes.
So that's why our strength of schedule is higher than,
Correct.
in this
Correct.
case, New Orleans.
Correct. And you see that Tennessee's is even higher than ours, at least so far. And so is Las Vegas's. But most teams have a lower strength of schedule than we do. So if we wind up tied with several teams, there aren't many teams who we would wind up picking ahead of. So again, New Orleans and the Giants have the same exact record, but their strength of schedule is lower, so they pick first. These next 3 teams have the same exact record. They're all 2-7, and you see they're ranked in order of lowest to highest strength of schedule. You should also note that many teams have already had their bye week. We get the last bye week of the year. So we are going to play 13 games before we get our bye. But for example, you see Tennessee's 1-8 and we're 2-8. So we
Right.
both have 8 losses, but they've only played 9 games, not 10 games. They only have 1 win. So some of this is a little weird because, for example, Cleveland is 2-7 because they've had their bye week, and we're 2-8. But Cleveland is very likely to lose that game that they haven't played yet. In which case, they would also be 2-8, and then we would fall behind them because their strength of schedule is lower than ours.
Right. Right.
Anyway, just wanted to throw all that out there. But the column that I'm most interested in, I put this column together myself, which in parentheses here, these are I'm going to call them winnable games that these teams have left, the easy-ish games. And again, shout out to tankathon.com. They list all of the remaining games for all of the teams, and they group them into 2 groups, basically hard games and easy games. Teams that have above a 500 record, and then teams that have below a 500 record. So the reason I think we're going to wind up with a top 3 pick in the draft is because these guys all play each other. Tennessee,
Oh,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
1-8, they have the first overall pick, but they play the Saints and the Browns. Right, here's the Saints, here's the Browns at 2-4.
Somebody's
Somebody's
gonna lose.
going to win those games.
Right. Right.
So when
Right.
the Saints and the Browns play Tennessee, I mean, I guess theoretically they could tie, but more than likely,
It won't.
one of them is going to win each of those games. So if this Tennessee wins even one of those games, now they have two wins, and because of their highest strength of schedule, we would leapfrog over them. Again, assuming we don't win anymore. If Tennessee loses both of those games, well, then we're going to leapfrog over New Orleans because that means that the Saints won that game. So they would then have three wins to our two wins. So
But
look at all
wait,
these teams that
but
have.
wait, you have the Giants. You're looking at us having only one winnable game the rest
Yes.
of the season.
Well, one game against a team with a sub 500 record. I'm not
Okay,
going
okay,
to win any other games.
okay.
One other game that I think there's a chance we might be favored in, and that's against the Raiders,
And
right?
not the Packers coming up. No.
No, I do not think that we'll be favored against the Packers coming up. I don't think we'll be favored against the Lions the week after that. No, no, sir.
Got it, got it.
But the Saints, for example, have three of those games, right? They play the Titans, the Jets, and the Dolphins.
Wow.
Atlanta has three. They play the Saints twice and the Jets. So almost all of these teams have two winnable games left. Some of them have three winnable games left. The exceptions are us. We only have one. And Arizona doesn't have any. They don't have any easy games left. None of their games left are against teams with sub 500 record.
Oh
So
man.
it may be that Arizona winds up 3-14. I mean, obviously, anybody can beat anybody in NFL. But if you're looking at how they've performed so far and how the people they're playing against have performed so far, Arizona's not going to be favored in any more games this year.
Wow.
So this
Wow.
is an interesting way of looking at what's to come, in my opinion. And like I said, so many of these teams play each other. Cleveland plays the Titans and the Raiders. The Jets play the Saints and the Dolphins. Uh, Vegas plays the Browns and us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be somebody's going to win those games. So there's not going to be 12 teams with three wins or less by the end of the year because these guys are playing each other.
Right. Got
So
you. Got it.
if we wind up 3-14 or 4-13, which I think is very realistic, um, 2-15 isn't out of the question, but I'd say 3-14 or 4-13 is what I would expect us to wind up with. There's at least two or three of these teams that are going to be below us because they have more wins than that because they play each other. And that's not even, like I said, they may beat somebody they had no business beating, like, we do every year, seemingly at the end of the year when we are
At the
thinking we
wrong time.
just slide down in the draft. Yeah. So, these guys might wind up with 4 or 5 wins or 5 or 6 wins in some cases. But that's why I think that we have a top 3 pick pretty much locked in,
Wow.
Kafka, getting us on some unexpected winning streak.
He
So,
might, because he's a new coach, that first game that.
yeah, there might be some new energy, some new buzz. Firing Dable might have woke some people up to make them, light a little fire in themselves, play a little better, play a little harder, whatever. Anything can happen. Could we wind up with 5 or 6 wins? Sure, we could. Would you lay any money on that? I wouldn't. I would not expect us to be. I mean, again, look at who we have left. I don't see us winning too many more games.
It's going to be difficult, even though I'm trying to look at it from the optimistic viewpoint. It's difficult
Of course you are.
it's difficult to say that we can get 5 to 6 wins. But
That's impressive.
but the Giants being the Giants, you know what can happen.
Yes.
Right when we should lose the last three, and we'll go on like a winning streak at the end and move from the top 5 down to like out of the top 10
Out of the top 10, right? Like I think our last 2 games, if I remember correctly, are the Raiders and Dallas.
in
So
Dallas.
knowing us, we'll be like 3 and whatever that is, and then win the last 2 games and wind up 3-12, and then we'll win those last 2 games, so I'm 5-12, and then we'll have the 11th pick or whatever. Again, I never want to lose. Like
No.
I'll be thrilled while we're winning those games until I look at the tankathon the next day and say, well, what draft pick do we have now? Oh, 11th. We were third a month ago.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so if you don't mind, what I would like to do next is with that said, that I think we're going to be a top 3 drafting team.
I'm holding my cap because I can feel something crazy coming on because you guys know with him with that while he's pulling this up, that mock draft Monday out and everything. But this one, I think we talked in our pre-production meeting with him.
Yes.
We talked about this. Just wait, I'll let you see it. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. It's WILD.
So let me start by saying I also think that Joe Shane will be gone by the time the draft comes. Maybe wishful thinking, but that's what I think. And I think this new GM is going to come in and say, there's a lot of holes here, but we have the quarterback.
Right.
We have the left tackle. We have the wide receiver one. So some of those positions that you would think might go first, second, or third overall, we already have that kind of locked down. What do we really need? Do we need one more, wide receiver two? Or no, I think what we could really use is several good picks. If we could, because as you know, we don't have a third round pick next year. So instead of going first, second, fourth, if we could wind up with a couple of seconds, maybe even a couple of firsts, and then maybe a couple of firsts next year, I think that would be a much better outcome for this new GM, whoever that might be. So what I did is I went Trader Clay. I went trade crazy.
Oh,
Again, shout out to PFF for having this technology. I'm not sure if you can read it well, but I'll just tell you that we started off with the third overall pick, and I traded that to the Jets, who had the fifth overall pick. And what I gave them was the third overall pick, one of our sixth round picks, and next year's second round pick. They gave me the fifth overall pick, their second round pick, and next year's first round pick.
wow.
So basically, I moved up from the second round to the first round next year. I moved from the sixth round to the second round this year, and I moved back 2 spots in the first round this year. What do you think?
You don't want to be our GM? You could
I
pull
mean,
up.
teams do crazy things when they think there's a quarterback that they really want on the board, right? And the Jets are going to be looking for a quarterback, I'm almost certain.
Definitely.
And there's two or three that seem to be kind of at the top of the leaderboard, so to speak, that teams are looking at as the potential quarterbacks that they want to have. The third pick might get you one of them. The fifth pick might not. So I can see the Jets making that trade. Anyway, so I moved from 3 to 5. Then I moved from 5 to 7, right? Miami said, hey, we need some help too. So I was able to trade with Miami. I moved from 5 to 7. I added another second round pick in this year's draft. I gave up a fourth round pick in this year's draft, but I also got a fourth round pick in next year's draft back from them. Then I traded from 5 to 7 with Cincinnati. Then I traded from 7 to 9 with Arizona. Then I traded from 9 to 11 with Baltimore. And each of those times, you see what I'm adding. I'm adding picks each time. I'm either moving up within the same draft, or in some cases, I just get an extra pick in the next draft, in the 2027 draft. And then finally, with that 13th pick that I got from Baltimore, I picked Spencer Fano, who I think is the best offensive lineman in this draft. And honestly, in reality, I don't think he's going to last to 13, but he did, so I took him. I'm not saying he's going to be, a Pro Bowler right away. He's not Penei Sewell, but
Right.
he's a very, very solid prospect at certainly tackle. He's been playing right tackle for Utah, but I think he might even move into guard because he's also pretty mobile. He's like 6'6", 315, and they say he's going to run just around a 5 or maybe even a sub 540. He's very athletic. He's doing very well in pass protection and solidly in run protection, in run blocking. So that's who I picked first.
That is crazy.
I was very tempted to take Mansour Delane, the cornerback there, but I said, you know what? I'm also going to work from the assumption that we didn't re-sign Jermaine Illuminor, because that's a giant thing to do, is to let him walk and wind up, a Pro Bowler for some other team.
True.
So I said, all right, let me go get this offensive lineman first, because if we don't have Illuminor, then we need the offensive line. And then I traded up so I could get the 15th pick. So I picked at 13, and then I picked at 15. I gave back some of that capital I just added, not all of it, but some of it. And then I was able to pick Mansour Delane. He was still there. And I think Mansour Delane in real life is going to go in the top 5. But because I think he's just a lockdown cornerback, and those are just not people who last to 15 very often. But he
Ooh.
was there, so I took him, and I love having Mansour Delane. Um, and then from there, I kind of slowed down with the trading, slowed down, not finished, but slowed down.
I can't people.
Picked the Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles, made another trade, picked
You are locking down our defensive side of the ball.
yes, I am. Yes, Mazo, thank you for stopping and pointing out. Yes, sir. That is exactly what I did. Um, the first pick was Spencer Fano on the offensive line, but after that, you see cornerback, linebacker, safety, defensive tackle, cornerback. That's what I was about. So I moved back up to be able to draft Dylan Thieneman. I'm sorry, I don't know if I mentioned I drafted Sonny Styles, linebacker from Ohio State, who I
Yeah,
think is one of those hybrid linebackers slash strong safety types as well. He started his college career as a safety, moved to linebacker. He's very good at both, very athletic, good size. And then Dylan Thieneman, who I think is going to be gone by then. I don't think he's going to last to 41 again in the real draft, but he was there, so I took him. And yeah, our defense is the problem. And then it took the interior defensive lineman Darryl Jackson and another Ohio State player, Davis Igbinosun, who is extremely athletic. Um,
wow.
he's a very handsy, grabby cornerback. He led the nation in penalties last year, which is why he didn't come out last year. He was eligible for the draft last year, but he was feast or famine, right? He could, knock the ball down, get an interception, and then next drive get two pass interferences, and your team, marches downfield and scores anyway. So, but he's cleaned that up a lot this year. He's had a lot fewer pass
Yeah,
interferences this year, and he's one of those, I think 6'1", 195, runs a 4.3 guys.
his stock will go up because Ohio State's winning, man. And so
Right, right,
his
right.
stock
And
will really
he's
go up.
coached well because Ohio State is, they produce players.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Man, that was draft day two. That movie draft day. That was draft day two right there. All those moves
Absolutely.
you made, I got dizzy.
And again, do I think our new GM is going to necessarily make as many trades as I did? No, I do not. But I wouldn't be mad if he did because we loaded up on draft picks, in this scenario. And so much so, like I said, that I was able to trade it back up and grab some people that I saw still on the ball. I was like, wait, is that Mansour Delane still on the
Right.
board? Hold on. Oh, I hit pause and I traded to go grab him.
Yeah, we're not one player away, so that strategy alone is actually a great one to use. I mean, maybe not as wild as like that. That was like Dr. Frankenstein thing they're doing. Oh my gosh, that was like when he told me this is a production meeting, I was like, if people are shaking their heads at you right now, they're probably hitting pause and going back to hear what you said. That's what is going on right now. So
Right, right. Or taking a screenshot of that board saying, this man's crazy. But again, like you said, we're not one player away. We're not one or two players away.
no,
So this, I think, is the philosophy that allows us for the next 2 years. Because you see what the Jets just did, right? The Jets got like umpty 11 first round picks in the next two drafts.
right.
That's, a team that's bad needs to do that. And I did that without giving up they gave up Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner. I'm doing that without having to give up, Dexter Lawrence and, Malik Neighbors. I'm just trading down from that really high first pick several times and picking up a little bit each time to really load up with.
So that actually the foundation premise of this is that we are terrible for the rest of the season and we lose so we can have a higher pick and then you're going to trade down from that higher pick to accumulate additional picks and make moves from there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking 2026, 2027, we could actually make some noise. Um, and that's what I'm willing to concede that we will be very quiet in 2025. We will not be making noise. But if we use that to springboard into something that's useful, of course, I've been saying that since like 2023. So
I didn't see any wide receivers in there though. Not one.
correct, correct.
Not
And I'm
one.
fine with that. And honestly, the 2027 draft, people are already saying that's going to be like a stock draft. And I got a couple extra picks in the 2027 draft. So maybe that's the spot we don't add this year. We can't fix everything. But if the defense becomes the top 10 defense we thought we had this year because of all these new additions in the draft, I can live with waiting one more year for that really stud wide receiver two. Dart is averaging 24 points a game without Malik Neighbors, without Cam
Yeah,
Scattermove.
yeah.
I'm not worried about our offense. I'm really not.
I want another receiver. You know me. I just want that other guy. This
Please,
at least
please.
a number 2.3 if it can somebody else.
I am not against, and this is a 5-round mock draft, right? We have 3 6-round picks. Well, actually, I traded away one of them, but I mean, we theoretically could still have drafted a wide receiver.
And please, can we draft a kicker this year too? Can we get a kicker?
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. We finally signed Ben Sauls. I've been pounding the table for the kicker from Pittsburgh, Ben
Okay.
Sauls, last April before the draft. He's on our practice squad now. We finally signed him.
But why is
And
he not up? What isn't Gano
well, he
hurt?
might be. He might be. I mean, they haven't announced yet who's going to kick this week, but they signed him to the practice squad. And now we have Young Wei Koo and Jude McAtamney and Ben Sauls all in-house. What I'm hoping is that Ben Sauls kicks this Sunday and makes it clear that this is his job. But at the very least, he's in-house. And all those people who've been telling me for the last, 8 months, why are you so hung up on Ben Sauls? Oh, so finally now that Joe Shane sees him as valuable also, now he's okay? Now it's okay to go get him? I've been talking about him since March. I've been talking about him since January, to be honest.
Maybe Dable didn't want him. Maybe that's since Dable's gone. That could be it,
That could be it. Anyway, that's a long episode. That's a lot going on. I don't think we've even actually asked you yet, but please grab that like button. Please subscribe. Please share, comment, all those good things.
I know you got a lot to say about this one here. I know you all hit the pause button when you have to rewind to that. I'm still thinking about all those moves he made. They were good moves when I really think about it. I think they're pretty good moves. If we can get multiple picks and multiple young guys in, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Take a screenshot right there. Go ahead.
Screenshot. There it is. There it is
It's so
again.
crazy. It's so crazy.
Missed it before. There's a screenshot for it. All right. Anyway, so we'll get back together in another day or so to talk about the upcoming game against Green Bay. But for now, this is what we're looking ahead to for the offseason. So again, Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas, and who am I here with?
It's your man Mazo. It's all about Big Blue. Hey y'all, we appreciate you all the time. Thank you for your support. It's always about Big Blue, y'all. And until next time, peace. Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.